Benny sat quietly on the old wooden step outside his little house, the gentle morning sunlight warming his face and making the world feel soft and golden. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of dew and wildflowers, and everything seemed peaceful. He watched a fuzzy caterpillar inch slowly across a bright green leaf, its tiny legs working so hard. Benny felt just as slow and alone, as if he and the caterpillar were the only ones awake in the quiet garden. His toys and books waited for him inside, stacked neatly on shelves. But today, he wished for something more. A friend to share the morning sun, to laugh and talk with, to make the day feel less empty. He sighed, nudged a small pebble with his toe, and watched it bounce along the garden path. In his mind, he imagined the pebble setting off on its own grand adventure, rolling bravely into the unknown. Benny often made up stories to pass the time, letting his imagination run wild. But somehow his stories always ended with him alone, wishing for someone to join in the fun. The forest at the edge of his garden looked mysterious and deep, its tall trees standing like silent giants, their shadows stretching across the grass. Benny wondered what secrets they might be hiding. He'd never gone far inside the forest. It always seemed a little scary, dark, and full of unknown sounds. But today something about it felt different, as if it was quietly calling his name. The wind whispered secrets through the leaves, rustling softly, and Benny felt a spark of curiosity flicker inside him, stronger than his fear. Maybe, just maybe, an adventure was waiting for him beyond the garden, something new and exciting he'd never imagined before. Benny stood up, brushed the dust from his shorts, and took a deep breath. He decided he was ready to peek into the woods, even if his heart beat a little faster. He took a careful step toward the unknown, his blue shoes quiet on the soft earth. And with each step, his curiosity grew, leading him into the start of a brand new story. Under the tall trees, the world changed, cooler, magical, and shimmering with dappled light. The air was filled with the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant call of birds, making everything feel alive and full of secrets. Benny felt nervous but brave, stepping over roots and listening to the forest's hum. Every sound seemed new and mysterious, as if the woods were whispering stories just for him. Suddenly, a song floated through the woods, clear, sweet, and unlike any he'd heard before. It seemed to dance on the breeze, weaving between the trees and echoing softly all around him. The melody seemed to call his name, pulling him deeper into the heart of the forest. Benny's curiosity grew with every note, and he felt a gentle tug, as if the music itself wanted him to follow. Benny followed, tiptoeing over soft moss and ducking under low branches, careful not to disturb the magic around him. Each step brought him closer to the enchanting sound. The music grew louder, leading him past curious deer and a chattering squirrel who paused to watch him go by, as if they too were listening to the song. The song made the forest feel safe, like a warm hug wrapping around Benny. The gentle glow of sunlight through the leaves made everything feel peaceful and welcoming. The path opened into a sunny clearing, where the light was bright and golden, and the air felt fresh and full of promise. In the center stood an old tree, its branches outstretched like welcoming arms, ancient and wise, as if it had watched over the forest for centuries. Perched there was a small bird, feathers shimmering with every color of the rainbow, sparkling in the sunlight like tiny jewels. The bird looked at Benny and sang a note so pure, it filled his heart with joy, making him feel as if he belonged in this magical place, surrounded by music and wonder. Benny stared in wonder at the magical bird, afraid to move or even breathe too loudly. He had never seen anything so beautiful or mysterious before, and his heart pounded with excitement and curiosity. The bird chirped softly, as if greeting him, its gentle sounds filling the air with a sense of calm and magic. Each note seemed to shimmer, making the moment feel even more special. Benny whispered hello, his voice barely above a breath, and the bird fluttered down gracefully to a flower nearby, its wings sparkling in the sunlight. Up close, its feathers glowed with every color of the rainbow, and its eyes sparkled with friendliness and a hint of mischief, as if it understood everything Benny was feeling. Benny felt warmth in his chest. This bird wanted to be his friend. The feeling was so strong, it made him smile wider than he had in a long time. "You have the most beautiful song," Benny said, his eyes shining with admiration and hope. The bird puffed its chest and sang a happy reply, its melody bright and cheerful, echoing through the garden. Benny giggled, feeling like they were truly talking, as if the bird could understand every word and feeling he shared. He sat on the soft moss, and the bird hopped closer, its tiny feet barely making a sound. Benny felt a gentle connection growing between them. Benny told the bird his name. He was sure the bird understood, because it tilted its head and chirped as if replying. He decided to name the bird Pip, for its cheerful chirps and the way it seemed to brighten the world around it. Pip rode on Benny's shoulder, listening to stories about faraway lands and dreams, never seeming to tire of his voice. The magical bird sang tunes to match Benny's mood, sometimes soft and gentle, sometimes bright and lively, always making Benny feel understood. For the first time, Benny didn't feel lonely. He had found a true friend in Pip, and together they filled the garden with laughter, music, and the promise of new adventures. With Pip by his side, the forest became a playground of adventure. Pip led Benny to hidden waterfalls and sparkling pools, places he'd never known. They met forest animals, wise badgers, gentle rabbits, who welcomed Benny as Pip's friend. Benny tasted wild berries, encouraged by Pip's cheerful nudges. When they found a lost baby rabbit, Pip's song calmed it, and Benny bravely helped it home. Through these adventures, Benny learned that bravery meant helping others, even when scared. Pip showed him that kindness could change everything. Benny felt a new strength growing inside. He was no longer just the lonely boy on the step. He was Benny, the brave explorer and friend to all. As days grew warmer, Benny's adventures with Pip filled his world with joy. He learned the forest's secrets and grew more confident each day. Other children noticed his bright smile and listened to his stories of woodland wonders. Benny shared Pip's kindness, helping friends, sharing lunch, inviting others to play. Soon he had a group of friends, his courage and kindness shining. One evening, with Pip on his shoulder, Benny watched the sunset from the wood's edge. Happiness settled inside him, warm and comforting. Happiness settled inside him, warm. He was no longer the lonely boy. He was filled with courage, kindness, and friendship. The song in his heart, taught by Pip, would always remind him he was never truly alone. Benny's adventures had only just begun,